I build four-wheel drive vans for a living. I like unique vehicles. I don't like to do what everybody else is doing. I've heard the question many times over the years, why don't you just build a truck? And main reason is because I build vans. But functionally, it's better than a truck, I think. You know, it's a 10-foot flatbed. The whole thing is 19 feet overall length. It's compact, but it's got a lot of bang for the buck. V4 is a 2002 Ford E-350 van that I pulled out of a junkyard in 2011. A lot of people think that I took a van and cut the body off. I did not. It never had a body on the back besides an ambulance body. And what they do with these ambulances, they refurbish the boxes, put them on new chassis, and then they send the chassis out to pasture to be scrapped out. So this one had a 7.3 diesel in it. I did a 12-inch cab back on the cab when it came, and then we built the flatbed custom, all aluminum. V4 has a 7.3 Power Stroke diesel. The original engine went about 250,000 miles. I replaced it with a Ford Reman engine several years ago. Behind that is a 4R100 transmission, which is also on a fresh rebuild. Behind that is the NV271 transfer case from a Super Duty truck. The front axle is a Dana 60. It's the same axle that's been in the rig since we built it in 2012. Has 456 gears, Knoll Racing power lock, Dynatrac outers, so everything from the knuckles out is from Dynatrac. It's got Dynatrac knuckles, spindles, hubs, crossover steering. The suspension under it right now is a kind of a modified radius arm 3-link hybrid. It's got 3.0 12-inch travel Kings, crossover steering. Everything else is stuff that we made custom in the shop. In addition, on the front axle, we have a hydraulic ram assist from Lee Power Steering. It's got a torsion sway bar from Speedway Engineering that we modified, of course. You know, this thing does spend most of its time on the street. I do like to take it out and go wheeling, but it spends most of its time on the street, so it needs to handle and steer well. In the rear, we have a Sterling 10.5, 456 gears. It has a Grizzly locker in the back and custom brake lines. It's trussed with a Barnes 4-wheel drive axle truss. All the suspension is custom one-off we made at our shop. It's a triangulated 4-link, pair of custom-made trailing arms, and also the 12-inch travel 3.0 Kings. So this van has been had 3 different suspensions under it. Originally, it had our 6-inch leaf-spring setup. Then I went to an 8-inch leaf-spring setup on 38s, and then I got tired of jumping in and out of it, and I wanted more performance out of it. The springs were just a little too stiff. I didn't like the way it behaved off-road, so I decided to do a link suspension front and rear. Originally, I thought maybe just do it in the front, but then I said, well, why not? Let's just do it in the back also, and I'm glad I did because it works really, really well. One of the few things that's still original to this rig is the flatbed. It's 100% aluminum. It has 2 solid mounts up front, but the rear is, I guess you would call our articulating mount. It's a single 1-inch bolt that the bed can pivot on. The main purpose was was to keep the camper, the original camper, from being under too much stress when the van was articulating. When it was on leaf springs, it was really noticeable. Now that it's on the coilovers, it's not as noticeable. The frame just doesn't flex as much as it used to. So the last addition that we've made to the rig is this soft top. We made a rack out of aluminum, and then I had a custom auto upholstery shop make the top. All the sides open up, and the front and the rear open up too. We also made a new headache rack that has a spare tire mount, some light mounts, and a solar panel. It's got a 90-watt solar panel that basically just acts as a trickle charger to the batteries. When we built the bed, we built in a lot of storage. So these boxes, front and rear, go side to side to give us a lot of room for recovery gear, tools, and whatever I need to try to keep dry. The fuel tank is a one-off. This originally had an aft axle fuel tank. We made a new tank. It's a 40-gallon aluminum tank. Wheels are from a company in California, Innovate Racing. They're true beadlocks, forged and machined here in the US. Tires are from Toyo. It's a 37, 1350, 17 mud terrain. The front bumper is one of the few off-the-shelf U-joint parts that are on this rig. It's our FB003 front bumper, all aluminum, weighs about 60 pounds. It's got a Warren 16.5 winch with synthetic winch line and a bunch of Baja design lights. After building V4 for SEMA in 2012, I had a camper on it, and then I really learned about what I needed and what I didn't need and what I really wanted for a camping rig. So after that fiasco, I built this, what we call the Sherpa. So this camper, this box used to sit on the flatbed. When we changed the suspension out to the link suspension, it's really not set up for the weight of the camper. So I ultimately decided to put the camper on a trailer, which makes it more versatile anyway. I'm not tied to camp. I can set up camp, I can drop this, leave it, and then go wheeling or go do what I want while this stays put. I never made a drawing for this thing. We basically just built the box, the outside shell, and then just started compartmentalizing everything. So we started here. This is the first thing we built besides the main shell, and I just kind of just said, oh, I want to use this stove, so that will dictate how wide this is. And I knew I wanted my fridge here, so we built a drop-down slide for the fridge, and then we had enough room to put a jockey box at the back. This Sherpa is 100% aluminum. It's all solar powered. It has 320 watts of solar on the roof and 4 golf cart batteries to power everything. All of our electrical systems control is here with a stereo. It's got a 50-gallon water tank, on-demand hot water heater, which is also plumbed to here, so if you want to do dishes with hot water, you can. The stove behind me is a 30,000 BTU stove. It's 46 inches wide, 3 burners, so we can cook a lot of food. I call it the Sherpa because it can haul all the gear that everybody needs, not just for me and my family, but other people can come and utilize it also. The top is it's just a bed. It's a king-size bed up there. It's its only function. Everything else is done down here. We have a sink that can also be used for food prep. And sometimes I'll bring some tables, just depends on what we're doing. It's a really great rig, whether it's just me going out for a weekend quick trip with the guys, or if I'm bringing the family. The opposite side of us is at the rear is what we would call the bathroom. It has the on-demand hot water heater, the shower head, and then the toilet. I had canvas made, so you get some privacy depending on where you're camping. In front of that is the storage area, so we put camp chairs, extra gear, heaters. The water tank is also there. So the trailer we custom made, we custom designed at our shop and built. It is on actually the old springs from V4 when it was still leaf-sprung. It's on 35-inch Toyo RT tires on some Pro Comp wheels. Pretty simple setup, leaf-spring, Fox shocks, and we measured it out, made it long enough to make it as stable as possible because it is a tall trailer. So this is my normal camping setup that I use the most. It works really well for the variety of camping that I do with and without my family. I love it. It's not for everybody, but it's also, kind of an artistic expression of what I like and what I think is cool, and kind of trying to push the boundaries of what we can do or what people consider, a camper. I don't live near a river, but this pond behind us is beautiful, and I would live here.